Today on Greatness Coaching and Therapy with Heidi M, we are discussing building and maintaining healthy boundaries. So important. Heidi, welcome back once again, and hope you're well.
I am well. Thank you, Eon. I'm very excited to talk to you about the setting and maintaining of boundaries. Very important.
Yeah.
Often we are so miserable and we don't understand why are people getting on our nerves. But it's just because we never told them anything otherwise, you know. So it's really important to decide for yourself what are my boundaries? My granny used to say, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And I never knew what she meant until into my adult life. And that's true, you know, you need to have a very good sense of what am I okay with and what am I not okay with. And that you can only achieve if you've been mindful and if you have a conversation with yourself every now and then saying, okay, I don't feel great about this. Why is that? And interrogate it a little bit. So very important that you decide for yourself what can I live with and what are deal breakers that I can't live with. I heard such a beautiful analogy of setting and maintaining boundaries the other day. It's like somebody coming into your yard where you live, to your house, on your premises, and they are using your hose pipe, they're doing it with what they want, and then they leave. Do you want them to roll up that hose pipe again? Or is it okay with you if they leave it right there? If their children are playing in your yard, are you okay with them leaving their toys all around and leaving the place in a mess? Or do you want them to clean it up before they leave and take the stuff with them? If you want the latter, then you need to communicate that to people. Some people don't mind if their friends come and visit with their kids and they play and they leave the stuff everywhere. It's not a problem for them. For me, it is a problem. So I have to communicate my expectations to people. Now, this is very important. You must please not be aggressive or nasty or horrible when you communicate these. You know, you are just informing somebody. Don't reprimand them, all right? And then the other thing is no ultimatums. If you don't do this, I am going to do that. Don't do ultimatums. Just inform them gently of what your expectations are. A more practical example for me is I can't stand it when people yell at me or at somebody when I'm in the room. I don't do yelling. I don't deal with that well at all. So if somebody yells, I would go, and it's a difficult conversation to have, but of course not while they're yelling, afterwards, just saying, I'm sorry, this is not something I deal with well, and I would really appreciate it if you could not yell at me again. I would love it if we can talk about this and sort out our differences. And I realize that you were very upset, but please, I'm asking you, and do it in that kind and gentle way. Another thing that you can do is to use I statements. So I feel statements, not I am telling you to, or I want, or that. If you say I feel threatened when you yell at me, I feel disempowered when you yell at me. You can't argue with somebody about how they feel, you know. So say it like that in a gentle way. Another thing with boundaries, and this comes in with the maintaining of the boundaries, is you have to be consistent. You can't let it be okay today and not tomorrow. That's why I said in the beginning, you need to figure out what are your deal breakers. What are the things that you really, really want to set those boundaries for, and then keep them there. Especially if you have children and you have to set the boundaries there, and at work. That's also a place where boundaries have to be consistent. Everywhere really, but with children and work, I find that the consistency is even more key. Another thing that is quite important is to then respect other people's boundaries. So I'm sorry, but you're not going to have boundaries around me if you don't respect my boundaries. That is not okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it goes both ways. And we're going here from the point of departure where everybody is respectful of each other. So that's a major ingredient in boundaries. And by setting boundaries, you also respect yourself. No, you are not going to cheat on me. This is where I draw the line. This is a deal breaker for me. If it's your partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever that is my boundary. That is it. So then you must stick by it, just keep that going. I respect myself enough. This is a deal breaker for me. And then you must decide inside your heart, no matter how much it will hurt at that point, or how much of a confrontation or a discomfort this may cause, you have to see it through, because this is what you want for yourself. This is how you respect yourself, right? Then, it's always good to use a bit of humor if you can. Try and factor in a bit of humor when you are explaining to people what your boundaries are. And then also very importantly, this is so difficult for us, I think for most people that I know, is the word no.
Yep.
You can just say, no, please, will you excuse me? I won't come to the bride this weekend, maybe next time. You don't have to explain yourself within an inch of your life, right? You don't have to explain things to people in so much detail, and they're not even family of yours. Learn the word no. Say no, thank you. No, it sounds great, but it's not for me. Something like that. You don't have to do stuff that you don't want to do. Learn to say the word no. Make the word no familiar to yourself. And you know what? Also very important to remember, the world's not going to stop turning because you're not doing something.
Yeah.
Nobody is that important.
Exactly.
It's okay. You don't have to go to the bride. You don't have to go to the concert. 2 of my friends invited me to a concert the other day, and I don't particularly like going to concerts in big venues where there are so many people, and you have to start looking for parking 2 hours before the show, and then you can't hear properly. It's not my vibe,
same,
right?
Yeah.
It's fine for them, and they sent pictures and videos of this gig and what it's going to be like and what the previous gig was like, and I just said, girls, enjoy, have a blast. And that was that.
Yeah.
They get it. So the one was joking and said, so is that a no? So I said, yes, that's a no. So we're using some humor here, and it's fine. They respect me. I respect them. The last one I just want to throw in here, actually the last 2, is to set the boundaries early on in a relationship, Eon. It doesn't help you waiting until you are so irritated with somebody doing something that is working on your nerves, that you are now at the point of blowing your top. Set the boundaries early. And, I just need to emphasize this. Setting boundaries is not a strict, militaristic kind of thing. It's done with gentleness, with love, with grace, and then a bit of humor. So don't wait too long, If somebody is is like what we said last week, standing in your personal space and there's no room for you to even breathe, don't wait for them to to do that for the umpteenth time, and then you go, I can't stand it when you do that. No, that's not how you set a boundary. And then the last one, I just want to say that sometimes we have to reevaluate them, right? Because our circumstances are not going to be the same always. We're not going to have the same relationship with the same person year in, year out. Relationships grow and they change. And so should your boundaries as well, right? Certain things are certain things, like deal breakers, but mostly we can tweak a bit of a boundary here and there. Like if you're going to chew loudly in my ears, maybe I can let up after a while. It depends. Let's see, So you have to be mature about this, and you have to have an emotional intelligence of sorts as well. But I know these eRadio listeners are emotionally very in tune with themselves and others. So I'm saying that with tongue in the cheek as well.
Oh, that's so awesome. Heidi, thank you so much. Can we call you? Any boundaries? Any certain times we can call you?
That's why I say send me a text WhatsApp message, and then I can read it whenever I like.
Exactly. Yeah, calls are so old-fashioned and intrusive. Actually, I mean, who still calls?
I know, right? Except for the guy who phoned me earlier today, like a scam caller telling me that there's something wrong with my bank account. Those people call.
Yeah, all the spam calls, all the unwanted calls. But I mean, I sometimes find it so intrusive when you send somebody a text and you expect them to text back, but they, or at least send a voice note, but they actually call back. It's usually the 50 plus guys, they still prefer phoning you.
I know. It's just not okay. So just text me, right? I'll get back to you ASAP. I love people. So it's not like I'm going to let my phone go unchecked.
Yeah.
Then this is 079-815-6305. Or you can find me on Facebook, Heidi M. Wellness.
Heidi, as always, thank you so much.
It was wonderful to talk to you, and have a beautiful week ahead.
You too. Thank you so much.